Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and thank you for joining us when there's so many ways that the internet, television, life compete for your attention. It's thrilling that you've got some time to spend with either Simon or myself looking at some variant Sudoku, and a very odd variant today. Today sees the return of Patrick Juncker, who has contributed 6 or 7 times before, but not for some time. And although today's puzzle is called Easy as 1, 2, 3, my guess is it's not as easy as 1, 2, 3. We'll have a look at the rules in a moment. I do want to tell you that on Patreon, as well as Gridogram and Connections videos and some super tough cryptic crosswords solved by me or Simon, there are Sudoku hunts every month. This month's is No Trump Game based on some playing cards and is available as a competition till the 20th. Do give it a go if you can get an entry in by 4 p.m. on the 20th. Slightly fewer entries by this stage of the month than usual, so your chances would be slightly better of winning a collaboration video solve with Simon. And if you want other Sudoku, we have, of course, got our various apps, including Killer Sudoku and would Miracle Sudoku be relevant to today? I'm not sure, maybe not, but do check those out. All of the apps, they're absolutely top quality value. And the worms as well are really sensational fun to solve. And to get to the end of a worm is a great feeling. We urge you to try those by, for instance, Zetamath or Michael Lefkowitz. They're great fun. And have a look at those. Right. There's also a bit of merch, actually. You could get yourself a mug like this, the Cracking the Cryptic mug, or one of the Rat Run mugs or mouse pads by Marty Sears, puzzles by him, designs by him, and all sorts of other merch as well. Check out all the links below in the description field below the video. But the first link is to this puzzle by Patrick, and it's, as I say, it's called Easy as 1, 2, 3, but let's see what we actually have to do. Normal Sudoku rules apply, so we'll be putting 1 to 9 in every row, every column, and every 3 by 3 box. In a cage, there are no repeat digits, and the cage is summed to the total given, so there will be 3 different digits adding to 6 here. Now, in the puzzle as a whole, 2 orthogonally adjacent digits sum to 10 if there is an x between them, and sum to a value other than 3, 10, 12, or 17 if there is no x between them. That means that for almost every domino in this puzzle, and this is the exception, they do not sum to 3, 10, 12, or 17, except this one which sums to 10. How many dominoes are there in a puzzle? I guess there are 8 in each row. Times 9 is 72. Same for the columns. There are 144 connections between orthogonally adjacent cells. And in this puzzle, 143 of them do not sum to 3, 10, 12, or 17, which is a possible sum of 2 digits. That is just, it's weird that this exists. I almost find it even weirder that a grid can be found where there's exactly one item that does sum to one of those sums and not, say, 2, which would more satisfy my notions of the likely symmetries pertaining to a Sudoku grid. But there we are. I entirely trust Patrick, and that's what he says happens. Do give it a try on the first link below the video. I'm going to investigate this now. Let's get cracking. And I mean, it is as easy as 1, 2, 3 to get started, because the cages that say 6 and are 3 cells long, 3 cells big, are 1, 2, and 3. And the ones that say 10 and are 4 cells big are 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now we've used up almost all the indications in the puzzle. But of course, they're all the hidden indications. No, actually, 3 is one of those sums that nothing apart from the, well, no domino in the grid adds up to 3. And that means we have to separate the 1 and the 2 in the 6 cages by putting a 3 between them. Otherwise, 1 and 2 would be next to each other. So that's a great start. I also always suspect in a grid that has some sort of phenomenon about it, there'll be roping everywhere. But there clearly isn't actually roping in this puzzle because those 3 digits aren't in those 3 cells, or those 3. Now that is an X, so this is 8 or 9. The one positive indication we have. Now 3 also has, I was going to say seen a few digits, but it hasn't. It's seen 1 or 2. However, that digit in this cage must be in this cell. So it's not 4 either. There's a 1-2 pair in this column. Oh gosh, I mean, are we going to have to think of some weird holistic magic here? So these sums that are not allowed from now on, apart from this one, are 3. 1 and 2 being, right, this digit can't be 1 or 2, or it would be next to that one. What does that do in this cage? I don't know. It's a little difficult to define. The 1 and 2 could be there and there, or they could be alternating through the cage in those positions or those positions. Oh, let's colour these 1s and 2s. That's a good thing to do. Red, yellow, red, yellow, red. One of these 2 is yellow. I was thinking that we could extend that laterally, and maybe we can. I'm not sure. There's a yellow. Well, no, I don't know that. Do I know that? Yes, I do. There's a red in one of those 2 cells, and so the other one can't be yellow. So there is a yellow in one of those 2. But maybe beyond that, I can't go. It seems odd to me that I can't. Okay, I'm going to stop colouring anyway. I'm going to have to think about these number restrictions. So 3, which is the 1 digit we've really got anywhere in the grid, can never sit next to 7. So that does rule a few cells out from being 7, but not very many. Oh, and maybe we're going to be colouring this digit. If I could colour that. Ah. Right. Oh no, I was going to say, yes. Here's why this digit is not yellow. This works perfectly. This is gorgeous, actually. If this was yellow, there'd be a yellow here and a yellow there. There'd have to be a yellow in this group. There's already a red here and a red here, and there has to be a red in this group. If there was a red and a yellow in that group, the only way that 1 and 2 could sit together without creating a disallowed 3 is if they were there and there. And we know that this cell is a 1 or a 2, so that wouldn't be happening. So this isn't yellow, and therefore it's 3 or 4. This digit is yellow and is 1 or 2. And now all I know is there's a yellow in one of these cells. Yes, no, that's great. That means this 1 or 2 is not yellow. It is red. And I'm getting the colors all wrong. That's red. And therefore in the cage, this is yellow. This is red. This is yellow. Now, I'm going to give this 8 or 9 an indigo color. Violet, let's call it. To go, and it goes with that yellow to form an X pair that is not allowed anywhere else. So it can't go in this cell, or there would be an X between those 2. It's not quite as helpful as I thought. Violet's going to be in one of those cells. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4 set. So, oh, this sees red and yellow now. Bingo. So that is 3 or 4, and this is yellow. Oh, it still doesn't tell me which of these is red, surprisingly. Right, I now know that violet, which would form an X with yellow, can't be in those cells and can't be in these because it would form an X with yellow. So it's here in this box. You see, that is information gained. It can't be in this cell. It would be next to that one. So it's in one of these two. And this puts it in one of these three, and that's getting a bit less helpful as we drift away from the center. Gosh, it really is the only positive indication. Well, I'm going to mark it in one of those two. Now, it also can't be in these cells because that would be sitting next to this yellow. It's not quite enough info, is it? Now, I have not thought about the 17. I haven't thought at all about the 12 rule, which is quite interesting because 3 can't be next to 9, amongst other things. But I haven't thought about the 17, which matters in this box, for instance, because there is another 8 or 9, let's call it green, that now can't be here, or it would form a 17 with this one. So green is in one of these cells, but we know something about green. Green mustn't sit next to red in the puzzle, because if violet and yellow make 10, and green is the other digit from 8 or 9, then green and red make 10 as well. Now, if green can't touch red, it's not in any of these cells. So green in this box is in one of those two, but it can't be here because it would be touching violet, making a 17. So that's not green, and that one is. Ooh, I want it to not be able to be, well, it can't be in that cell because it would be touching red. Oh, it can't be in either of those two because it would be touching violet. So it is in one of these two. Now it's in one of these three. It's not touching red in one of those two. It could be there or there. In fact, it is there or there. Green is in one of those two cells in this box. And wherever it is, it's going to force violet away from it, which is quite interesting. Gosh, I am having some trouble understanding. I mean, I haven't explored all of these digit restrictions. I've done a bit of looking at 3, very little looking at 10. I suppose violet and yellow are a 10 pair, green and red are a 10 pair, 7 and 3 are a 10 pair, and 4 and 6 are a 10 pair, but I don't know much about 4 and 6. But there are also 12 pairs to avoid, and they could be 3, 9, which I feel is significant. 9 is either violet or green, and I mean that's threatening to touch a 3 either there or there or there. 4, 8, I don't know much about 4s, but well, I mean if violet was 8, that couldn't be a 4 and would have to be a 3. If this was green and was 8. No, I was going to say, yes, this can't be green for a beautiful reason. If that was an 8-9 pair, you'd get a 12 with this, either that way or that way, because whether this was 3 or 4, it would go with the 9 or 8. So that is not part of the 8-9 pair. This one is. This one isn't. This is green. Green is not allowed to be next to red because it's violet that can't be next to yellow apart from there. So that's not red now. And this one is red and is 1 or 2. That's good. Now, am I going to start colouring 3s and 4s? Oh, look, there's 3 and 4 here. So that gives me a 3-4 double X-wing into those positions. 2 3-4s there and there mean that all the 3-4s are used up a row in, I don't know what English I'm using. All the 3-4s are used up in rows 5 and 6 by those two dominoes. Now, this can't be violet because it would be next to green, forming a 17 pair. And that violet is looking at this cell and making this violet, and that is not allowed to form a 8-9 pair with that cell. So we are getting some traction. This is violet now in column 3. This digit is not allowed to be 3 or 4 because it would be forming a 12 pair. It's also not allowed to be 8 or 9. It isn't 1 or 2 by Sudoku. So it's 5, 6 or 7, which are going to be the third set. Like, look, here are 5, 6 and 7 in box 4. Here are 5, 6 and 7 in box 5. I think this is going to be a massive colouring exercise that I'm going to have to work out. Now, red is allowed to be next to violet. Yellow is allowed to be next to green, so I haven't got anything to do there. I do need a red in one of these two cells. I hadn't noticed that. And it can't be here next to yellow because that would be a forbidden 1-2 pair. So that's red. And green can't be next to red ever because they are a naughty pair. Excellent. So we get green. One of these two is red by Sudoku. One of these two is green. What about green and violet together? They're okay. They don't care about each other is how I want to put that, which is a silly thing to say, but you know what I mean perhaps. One of these digits is a 4 in this column. Everything else is from 5, 6, 7 in box 1. One of these digits is a 4. In this row, we've had 8, 9, 1, 2 as pairs and a 3. This could be 4. Oh, so could this. So could this. They're all from 4, 5, 6, 7. But I don't know much beyond that. Oh, this can't be a 5, 7 pair next to each other because that would add up to 12. So they must include a 6, and this doesn't. And that digit is here in box 5. And that can't be a 5 or a 7, or we'd have another pair. So that's a 6. And I found a 6 in the puzzle. And that gets me this digit, because 6 and 4 would add up to 10. This is so strange. That gets me 3 and 4 here. There's a 3 in one of those cells by Sudoku. What about 4? That can't be 4. So one of these two is 4 in row 3 and is going to be next to 9 in either green or violet. Oh, that one is not 4 because it sees a 3, 4 pair. This is 4 and it's not allowed to be next to 8. So lime green has become 9 and violet is 8. And that means on the X, the one positive cell, yellow becomes 2, and that means red becomes 1, and we have made a lot of digits suddenly. That's not 5, 7, so there's a 6 there. This digit is 5 or 7. Yet again, we can't have a 5, 7 pair. So that's 6, and this isn't. Down here, we can't put 4 here, or we'd have a 12 pair. So we put it here with a 5 or 7 here. I don't know what to do with these. Now we're going to use 7, 3 somewhere. One of these two is a 9. 13298. Ah, that's not a 4 because of the 8. And in the row, we do need a 4, so we'll put it in there. This is 5 or 7. Now this, oh, well, we've had a 5, 7 pair in this column. 8, 6, 1. Everything else is 2, 3, 4, or 9. 2, 3 are sitting there, and also in row 8. So that's a 4, 9 pair. This is a 2, 3 pair. We can't have 1 sitting next to 2. So this is a 3, and that's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spot. Light losing its religion. And that's all, no, it's not all the 3s in the puzzle, but we can do them because 8 can't be next to 4. Also, 9 couldn't have been next to 3. So I think all the 3s are done, and we're doing quite well on 4s. One of these two is a 4. One of these two is a 4. This one must be a 4. And that's placed my 1 down here and probably gets me the last one in the grid here, which maybe I could have done before. That's a yellow 2. We need 2 more yellow 2s in these cells. 2 not allowed to sit next to 8 or 1. 5, 6, and 7. This can't be a 7 in this row because of the 3, or a 6 because of the 4. So that is a naked 5, and that's going to give us 6 here. It's going to sort out a lot of 7 5s. 7 there, 5 there, 7 here. 5, 7, 5. This is a 6, 7 pair. I can't see a way to distinguish those at the moment. This is a 4, 5, 9 triple. I can't see any pairs trying to form up there. 9, 3 is not allowed. Goodness me, it's quite hard to spot some of these. So we get a 4 and we get a 9, and we can colour the 9 and remove the colour from the other cell while we put in its number. 5 and 4. Down this column, we've got a 7, 9 pair. Down this column, we've got a 5, 6, 8 triple. That has become a 7. This is a 5, 6, 9 triple. We can't put 6 next to 4 or 9 next to 3. That's now a 5, 6 pair, and this is a 2, 9 pair. Still got a bit of work to do. There's a 5 in one of these two cells by Sudoku, so there can't be a 7 in one of them. Oh, this digit can't be 2. No, that's known. 2's in one of these. 7 can't sit next to the 3 down here, so it must sit in one of those cells, forming an X-wing with this. Okay, that wasn't very interesting. 8 can't be next to the 4, so it's in one of these two. 6 also can't be next to the 4 because of 10 and 12, so that's a 7 next to the 4. Now this can't be 7. That fixes 7, 9, 7. That's almost all the 7's done. There's one more to come here. These digits are 5, 6, and 8 in box 9. And what can't they be between them? Oh, nothing really. There's not, I mean, there isn't anything to decide, annoyingly. Oh, 7 can't be next to 5. And this couldn't be a 5 by Sudoku, so this is the only possible 5. This is going to happen, but I just don't know how or how quickly. This digit is 6 or 8 by just Sudoku and eliminating the other impossibilities. That is now a 6, 8. Oh, this can't be 8 next to 9. That's important. So that's 6, that's 8, which is definitely violet. This is definitely violet, 8. And this must be violet, 8. I am trying to keep up the colouring. Violet can't be next to green. That's why it's sometimes useful to keep up the colouring. This must be 9. That sorts out 2 and 9, which gives me a 2 there. Place is 5. Right, let's try and get the colouring back on track. Green, 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 grow the rushes. Ho. 6, 5. That's a 6. That's a 6. That's an 8. 8 gets a colour. Has every box got its yellow, red, violet, and green? As a matter of fact, yes. So I've just got 6, 7 to do here. And there we go. 6, 7. Job done. Puzzle solved. Thank you for watching. See you in a moment. Sorry about that. Just took a call and there we go. That is as easy as what did it say in French? Or simple comme bonjour, as we say in French. Easy. It wasn't, of course, and that's absolutely true. 21.15 for the time. Lovely puzzle. And very clever, Patrick. Very interesting. Goodness knows how one creates a grid like that. I didn't know it would be possible. I really couldn't imagine that you could have a grid with that rule. I could have imagined you could have had a grid with that rule and 0 X's, 3s, 10s, 12s or 17s, but one of them is very surprising to me. But there we go. I don't understand Sudoku theory after all these years. Thank you for watching and bye for now.